Hello, my dear friend. Pull up a chair, get comfortable, and let's talk for a bit. The story I'm going to tell you today is about Maria. You see, Maria is a woman, just like many of us, who always lived a simple life, full of love and routine. But suddenly, everything changed. If you believe that Maria will find the strength she needs, hit that like button now to motivate her not to give up, and stay with me until the end to see this incredible story of hope. For a long time, Maria's life was woven with the threads of happiness. She had the family she always dreamed of, a husband João, who was her safe harbor, and a home filled with the laughter of grandchildren who visited on Sundays. Her simple house smelled of fresh bread and brewed coffee, and the walls were lined with photos that told the story of a life well lived. But sadness, we know, has a way of arriving unannounced. João, her companion of over 50 years, fell ill. It was a disease that slowly, day by day, dimmed the light in his eyes. Maria, who was the family's rock, suddenly found herself in a sea of uncertainty. The sleepless nights, the hospital visits, the weight of the bills, all of it drained her energy. And along with her energy, her hope. I remember her telling me once, "It feels like my prayers aren't reaching God anymore, you know?" This woman of unwavering faith, who always saw God in every little thing, now had a heavy heart. She felt her voice was just one among many. She kept praying, but it was a tired prayer, without the same strength as before. Her faith was locked inside a dark room, and she couldn't find the key. The Bible, which used to be her daily companion, now sat on her nightstand, gathering dust, a silent reminder of a time that seemed so distant. "I feel like I'm alone, that God has forgotten about me," she confessed one day, her eyes welling up with tears. Life, which was once a song, became a whisper. The joy of caring for João was replaced by the pain of watching him grow weaker, and Maria felt an immense emptiness. With each passing day, the light in her eyes diminished a little more. Her world shrank, and all that was left was pain. She felt powerless, as if she were fighting a current that was dragging her to the bottom. And worst of all, she was beginning to accept that there was nothing she could do. And in a moment of desperation, she looked up to the sky. It wasn't a prayer of request, it was a silent cry. "God, please help me. I can't do this anymore. Don't let me give up." We know that God hears us even when words fail us. And Maria, without even realizing it, was living what is said in Psalm 34-18. "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and saves those who are crushed in spirit." It was on a rainy afternoon, when Maria was at the hospital, sitting by João's bed. Tears were streaming down her face. She no longer had the strength to hold them back. And in this moment of total fragility, a new nurse, Carol, sat down beside her. Carol, with a gentle voice, didn't say a word for a long time. She simply held Maria's hand, and with a caring embrace, she said, "Prayer. It's all we have, my dear." Maria, with a broken heart, looked at Carol, and the nurse, with a voice full of compassion, began to pray. It wasn't a grand prayer, full of difficult words. It was a simple and powerful prayer that seemed to come straight from the heart. And Maria, who felt her prayers weren't going anywhere, joined her voice to Carol's. Together, they prayed, "Dear God, we ask you in this moment of pain. We understand that we are at the limit of our strengths, but your grace is infinite. Bring peace to Maria's heart, renew her hope, and show her your love. Be the strength she needs to move forward. And, Father, let your will be done, for we know it is always what is best for us. Amen." This simple prayer was like a balm for Maria's soul. She felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, hope. And from that day on, Maria decided she would not give up again. She picked up her old Bible, dusted it off, and opened it to a verse Carol had suggested, Isaiah 41:10. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse became her shield, her fortress. She repeated it every day, feeling God's presence by her side with every word. Maria did not stop facing difficulties, but the way she faced them changed. She began to see small signs of God's help. The neighbor who showed up with a hot soup, the daughter who called to say how much she loved her, and Carol herself, who became a friend, an angel sent by God. In every small gesture, Maria felt that she was no longer alone. Her faith was rebuilt, not based on what she saw, but on what she felt in her heart, the certainty that God was in control. The transformation of Maria wasn't sudden, it was a journey. João, unfortunately, passed away a few months later. But Maria was not alone. The farewell was painful, but the peace she felt was a divine gift. Maria, who had once felt powerless and lost, was now secure in her faith. She knew that God was with her, guiding her every step. The prayer didn't physically heal João, but it brought a much deeper healing for Maria. The healing of her soul, the renewal of hope, and the certainty that God's presence is our greatest refuge, no matter the storm. Maria learned that faith is not the absence of pain, but the presence of pain in the midst of pain. Maria's life continues. Her house still smells of coffee, and the laughter of her grandchildren still fills it. But now, the photos on the walls tell a new story, a story of overcoming. A story about how powerful prayer and renewed hope can transform our lives and give us the strength to move forward. Maria, once a woman who almost gave up, is now a woman who inspires. Have you ever said a prayer that changed your life? Share that story with us in the comments so we can inspire other people. And don't forget to leave your name here so we can pray for you, too. Share this video with someone who needs to renew their faith, and remember, God is always by your side, waiting to give you the strength you need. Amen.